Oh, it's Dana. I wanted to do a flip through. This journal's getting kind of an alligator mouth, but I wanted to do a quick flip through to document some of it in the event that I do not get to flip through it before I give it to Haley because, well, it's her Christmas present. And so I have to quickly get the cover made. So I'm just going to get right into it. Um, This is the first signature, which I had already shown before. And so I'm just going to get right into it. Little book pocket. I did not do a whole lot of decorating here. I did some stamping top and bottom. There's an inventory tag, a little corner pocket, an alterations tag, some graph paper. Let's see, some printed paper. This is stamped at the top and the bottom. This says less perfection, more authority. Or no, what am I saying? This says less perfection, more authenticity. And this says your own story. I added some typewriters to the corners. Hi, Sue. And then I also typed on this little coin envelope document and then just stuck that in this little pocket. And then I love this typewriter craft paper. It's just got some random type print on it. So I stuck that in there. There's some newsprint, a newsprint pocket down here at the bottom. Then I included some of that clear paper, which I have done nothing to because it doesn't take stamps very well because it's kind of rubbery. So I just included that because I thought it was cool. And then the centerfold, of course, is Jack. I couldn't fold him in half because he's centered on the page. So he's going to be a fold out in the middle. Then on this page, I have stamped Just Create with another typewriter. This says Your Story Matters. And down here it says Make Room for Your Voice. Hi, Marcy. And then this is just more pages. They're pretty. This one's pretty plain. I did some stamping at the top and the bottom here just for a little decoration. And then on the back of the signature, I have added some little cutout hearts, which I've edged in black. And that's it for the first signature. Excuse me, I have a cold, so I'm sniffing a little bit. I'm trying not to. This is the second signature. This I kind of made a hodgepodge signature. And this says Keep Life Simple. And then I just put some little trim pieces here and there. These are stamps and washi tapes. This is stamp, washi, stamp, washi, stamp, washi. These are all washies. That's a washi and that's a stamp. And then I added some washi tape here and here. So in this little pocket, I made a just a little index card with nothing on the back. And this says, I'm not beautiful like you. I'm beautiful like me. Then it also says on the back, which I love the back. I'm pretty sure Denise sent me this. It says that awkward moment when you want to laugh, but it's completely inappropriate. So that's, I have a lot of those moments in nursing. So we don't laugh. We try not to. Okay, so then I just did a little stamping at the top and the bottom of this page. On here, I added a whole hodgepodge of things and little messages that I tore out of the dictionary. It says, I'd rather be happy than dignified. Love each other. She had a scissor amputation, apparently. I don't know what happened there. And then I have an inappropriate stamp here that's kind of, it's got a little obscenity to it. So it's fun. So I included it with a little eyeball sticker. I put a time card here because time is money, right? That's my little. And then this says, Kindle your spark of madness. This is one of those, I think, Dina Wakley stamps on the coffee dyed pink paper. Then again, the lined paper on this, because this is good to put pictures in because there's no coffee dyeing or acid that would destroy the paper. These are acid free. I just put film and photo theme stuff to kind of remind her that it's okay to put pictures there. This is a little tuck spot. And then I just put the word obsessed because there was some dirt on that page or some ink on that page. This says enjoy every moment, stop and smell the flowers, plant smiles, grow laughter, harvest love, and of course, Jack. And then up here it says magic is something you make. And of course, I had to stick a plant in because every one of my journals has to have something green in it. After all, it is me. Then this is a pocket. I just folded up some ledger paper because I thought the green kind of went with the weird colors on this page. And then again, the photo kind of theme page to let her know this is safe to paste photos into. A clock, hourglass, the word time. This says home is where our story begins. This says home sweet home. And this says home is where my family is. Hi, Maria. And then this little weird bird. I stamped a world. Things that I thought, random things that I hope will inspire her to write or draw or whatever she wants to do in this. Down here it says, when in doubt, put a bird on it. But because I'm still a 5-year-old when people tell me what to do, I put an elephant on it. So I thought that was kind of funny. I have my weird sense of humor all over this. And then in here is the other half of that little bag. I just stuck a couple tags in here. This one says live a happy today, and this one just has keys on it because I do think the key to happiness is just making lemonade when life gives you lemons. And then I stuck this little shaker in here that I'd made a long time ago. I made a video on it. I had no idea what to do with it, but I stamped some citrus, stuck some lemons here and there. I cut this out of some other paper I had. And then I put a stamp that says you're the zest. And that's it for that signature. This is Sally's signature. So I made it very girly and very pink. I put a couple of the photo frames that Denise had punched out and sent me. Those came in really handy. She sent me a bunch of colors. And these little stickers fit right in them if you trim them down, these little Jack Skellington stickers. So I put a couple of pictures of Jack. This is a little stamp that says, I don't know if you can see it very good on the camera. I'll hold it up. It says, don't let comparison overshadow your blessings. And then this is a punched out flower that Maria made me. I love these flowers and the color went perfect. I took some of that Jack Skellington ribbon and frayed it a little bit on the ends. I glued it a little too short, so it's not very frayed up here, but down here it looks real pretty. And then I stamped this little girl. This is one of those little, I don't know if you can see her very good, but this is one of those little Joann's stamps. And I put, I typed love always saves the day. And I put a little bow in her hair, just did some stamping top and bottom, added a little bit of, I edged a lot of the pages with ink. Here, I just put a pink doily and a little, one of these little punch outs and a white doily, a yin yang stamp. I don't know why, so random, but added some pink lace. Here, I made a tuck spot. This has a pink, here, this is supposed to go up here. This little pink glittery piece of paper. I thought this was pretty, and it's got like glitter on it. And it's just blank on the back. And then I stuck Jack. This is a picture I cut out of the back of a card. And then I used the front of the card later on. This is a punch. This is a Sizzix, one of the Sizzix dies. This is, I believe, one of the Tim Holtz flowers. This is just a paper bag that I've put a ledger card in. On this page, I put Jack and Sally in a slight embrace with some little hearts that I punched out of that newsprint paper. I put this ice cream cone just because I thought it went. And then I made her a little paper tearaway with that dollar store pink paper because I wanted to make everything pretty girly in here. This, I made a little tag with a sticker, more Jack and Sally that I've glued it on to make a pocket. And this is just an index card and a little flip that I just randomly stuck in. And then there, of course, is Sally. This is her poster. It is in French. I got this off of AliExpress. I had to just trim it down, so I used the pinking shears to do that. Couple more index cards. This is a little card I made. I typed out the word Jack and Sally on that coffee dyed paper I made, and then I did a little sewing with gold thread to give her a little more room to journal or stick some little keepsake in. An old-fashioned phone message. Then I tried to cut Sally out in the shape of a heart. It didn't work. I did some stitching here on this pocket, but she's supposed to be kind of lovingly gazing up at Jack, but it doesn't look like a heart, so that's okay. This says, I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. It's a quote by Audrey Hepburn. I included this little envelope here, and then a little black dress with some washi tape and some lace here. This is just a sticker, little girl ballerina sticker, some more washi tape. Here I've just included a applique that I've made into a tab. I had to cover up the printing on this paper. This says love you a latte, and it's got a cup of coffee down here, and I made a little tab for it out of black paper. This is one of those envelopes I made back when I did the Artie Mays tutorial that's spattered with pink, and I left it open where she could put something in there, and then I stamped totally handmade on here. So I always stamp my stuff with that little toad. I picked that up at Hobby Lobby one day, and I thought that was totally cute. So that, like, I think that goes like, I don't know how these go. If they're not glued shut, it doesn't matter, I guess. Then I made this weird little Christmas tree with pinking shears. I think I showed you this already. And then I made a little card. So I did it, I did the pink backwards. So on this side, it's like that. And on that side, it's like that, which is weird. But you guys know I'm weird. And then I edged this little envelope in pink. And I stuck the Jack card on the front and stamped a few bows and made this little pocket. So that's it for Sally's signature. And then the last signature, I tried to leave this a little plain. I wanted it to be cool and inspirational, but I also wanted to give her lots of room to do her own thing. So in this, I've just tried to keep it with the black and white theme. I did some inking with stencils here and there. That's a mandala stamp. Another flower on my coffee stained paper. I did some of these, I think Dina Wakley people, stamped an eyeball, glued some black sequins trim to the edge of the page. I inked a jam box because this paper's kind of 80s. This is my little nod to Pink Floyd. The telephone, of course. I love that. This has all kinds of retro, like a console TV and a record player and an old-fashioned stereo on it, old-fashioned radio. So I thought that paper was cool. I did a little stamping at the top and the bottom of this page that I ran through the printer to make lines. And then, of course, well, there's fuzz in that. Then, of course, Jack will be in the center. And this says, each card has an explanation on the back. And this says, love and snow are in the air as Jack Skellington suddenly realizes that the unassumingly sweet Sally has stolen his bony heart. So that's where that face came from. So I thought that was sweet. And then here, Haley has always loved her Chuck Taylors, and this is the best I could do with Chuck Taylors. So I inked those on. That's a stencil also. Just stuck that finger on there. Some more of these Dina Wakley people. These are my homemade stencils. If you didn't see the video, I made some ginseng stencils, both negative and positive. And so I just inked those on. This is one-sided lace, but I have added stickles to the back of the little metal rivets because they were kind of ugly. And then these rivets all have rhinestones in them. And then there's a little pocket back here. And on the last page, I did some stamping. I included these. Were kind of cool because they had like typewriters and phones and old records and cassette tapes and these old looking phones. And then I just used a bag to make this little pocket and cut like a file folder type piece of paper that she could tuck some things in the back here. So that is it. So on to the charm. So as you can see, this got pretty big. I have not done any stickles, and I have not done any kind of, what do you call it, like embellishing with any dimensional items yet. And so I still have a good bit to do on this journal once it's sewn together. But I wanted to get the main portion of it together before I made the cover, because I didn't know how big to make the cover. So as for the charm is not done. This I decided is going to go on the drawstring closure for the bag I'm sewing. And I did go ahead and decide that I made this bow for it. This is going to be the fabric that the journal bag is sewn in. And then of course this will go on the string. And I'm going to go ahead and just buy some black rope type, like a thick nylon for the, to make the drawstring. And so that'll go on that. And then I have the charm, which is not completely done because I still have to make a couple items for it, but I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what I have just so you get an idea of what's here. First and foremost is this was part of a necklace I deconstructed and put back together. I love these little silver rings. And then this is not actually a tassel. This is just several pieces of chain on a jump ring, but it kind of looks like a tassel hanging down from this big bead. So it's not officially a tassel, but it works. Then again, some more like rosary bead type construction with bigger beads. Here's this little, it's like a crazy little sucker looking thing. I don't know if I can get the picture up here, if you can see it or not. Here, let me pull the slide over a little bit. My lights are not trustworthy. Let me move this. It's in the way of the fan. Okay, and then what's next? I have, this is all kind of tangled up, so let me just pull out what I can. This has got this big bead and this little heart on it. And that was from a bracelet I got like on Ally. This is that necklace I got. I'm sure you guys saw this. Let me polish it up. It's got my fingerprints all over it, but it says love, and the O is Jack's face and the V is Sally's face. So I don't know how well the camera picks that up. Let me see if I can get the light to hit it just right. Well, I'll show that close up in a minute. Every time I pick it up, it just kind of goes wonky. This is that watch, and I got a really substantial chain to put it on. And I have not pulled the button out for the battery yet, so the watch time isn't moving. But that's the Jack Skellington watch, and it's like in a coffin shape. So I thought that was cool. And it's got this little lock on the side. This is just a weird bead I found in some old jewelry, and I like it because it's like mesh. And then this is a Jack Skellington head charm attached there. Let me see. This is not finished. This one has a charm coming, which is on a bracelet, which will be this charm here. I have to deconstruct the bracelet, but as you can see, that's Jack standing on that little hill thing, that little curly hill. And then this is half Jack, half Sally. And this is just another one of these, which I haven't made the tassel for yet. And the tassel basically just consists of this type chain. And then I have Jack here again. And I'll show those closer up. And then this, you know what? Let me just get close up. This is, let me see. This is like a little... Is that showing up? A little girl, Jolly Roger, with a bow in her hair, and a little skeleton guy with a top hat. That's kind of small. And then here's that Jack watch closer up. And then here's the picture inside of that watch. And that's also from AliExpress. And then here's this Jack Skellington head charm with that cool bead. It's like a mesh metal wire bead. It looks almost like a screen. And then, let's see, here's that heart. So you can kind of see it closer. Let's see, I showed the lollipop. Oh, here's this, I forgot. Here's this love. And it's, the O is Jack's head and the V is Sally's head. So kind of cool. And I just cut that down with wire snips. But it, I have a little bit more to do on it. I just haven't had time. I think it makes a cool sound though. So I'm pretty happy with how everything is coming out. And I gotta hurry because I have to work all the time. And I'm sorry I haven't been reading the comments. Hi, Kim. No worries, Kim. I'm just glad that I finally got this journal together, mostly so that I could start the cover. The cover I'm going to use book plates, and I have decided to go ahead and do a, I'm going to sew some of the signatures together, and then I'm going to do the elastic wrap binding, I think, so that she can take different sections out, because I have so many things I want to include in the journal, and it would be just too bulky to actually ever sit. It's not, you're not going to be able to sit and write in any of it. So, once I get it together, I'm hoping that I can do a flip through, but because my time is so limited right now with the holidays and my work schedule, and everybody I work with has little kids. And so I am working both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I'll be asleep most of and the day before Christmas Eve. So I'll be asleep all day. So just squeezing my own holiday in somewhere is going to be pretty difficult. But I think the weekend before, which is this weekend, we're going to my mom and dad's one day to celebrate with them. And so I'll just make double the food, bake a ham, and probably that way we'll have food for there, food for here, and I won't have to do much. My shopping is pretty much done. I have a couple of gift cards I want to pick up, but other than that, I just have a few things to wrap. And like I said, I haven't added like any of these dimensional things I've made. That's just a button with a ribbon tied in it. But all of the things that I have to actually glue in the journal that are thicker or dimensional like this, I'm waiting until after I get it assembled. So I do need to retire. I know, that's what I said. Well, and I was actually semi-retired a couple of years ago, and I came out of retirement when my family had some disastrous issues. But I am hoping that my youngest son, who I'm hoping will get his surgery on his foot in January, I'm hoping that that kind of gets him back up and at him to where he's functioning on an independent, he's a very independent kid. So this has been hard on him too, because he always had his own money and was able to do what he wanted to. So not being in perfect health. Dana Reed comments above. Wonderful, Dana. Hi, Kim. No worries, Kim. Did you show the journal? Where's my glasses? I don't have my... Hold on, let me get over here. Did you show the journal? She did, Kim. Thank you, Sue. I will watch the replay. I did see, Dana, you really need to retire. Full-time crafter. I will, Marcy. What did I miss? I'm sorry. You know what? I usually go back and watch my own video and scroll through the comments because I'm so bad at being able to. My computer, like my workspace is here, but my computer's like way over to the right to give me room on my table. So I should probably like open my phone and get in my own live so I can read the comments. But I do have to get off here. We got a bunch of snow. I don't know if you guys have weather where you're at. We probably got, I don't know what we got, maybe. It's not bad. It's like a foot, but it got pretty warm today and they had already plowed and salted the roads. So I think the roads are good, but it's supposed to get really, really cold over the next couple of days. And I hate that. And so I'm ready I love the idea of having a white Christmas. I hate 20 degrees and 10 degrees. And you guys know that, I'm sure you already know this, that the wind in the summertime, it's always 20 degrees cooler at night, which is nice because, on the 90-degree days when everybody gets in their car and they're suffocating, I go to work and it's like 70 or 80. So it's not so hot. Sometimes it gets down in the 60s and I'm like, oh, yay, because it can be as much as 30 degrees colder at night. But it's the same thing in the winter, only you have that wind in the winter and I hate that. So a 30-degree windy day during the day is cold, but a wind chill of whatever 10 with the wind is terrible. So I hate that about having to go out at night. And the coldest part of the day is 6 a.m. almost everywhere you live. It's right before the sun comes up. So sometimes when I go to work, it's like 30. And when I get off, it's like 18 or something. And I'm like, oh no. So I do not want to. I know, Marcy, you know what? I wish somebody would have did that for me. One year I had to lie to my kids and I even told my neighbors, I said, please don't let your kids come over. I know all the kids are off for, Christmas vacation, but please don't let your kids come over on Christmas Day because Santa's not coming to our house until the 26th. So So he actually came Christmas Day night and I literally unplugged the cable out of the back of the TV because that way they wouldn't hear that Santa was spotted in the sky, or how they used to always do the Merry Christmas and do all the stuff on the air channels, the local air channels. So I literally unplugged the cable and told the kids that, oh, I don't know, something's wrong with we can't get the TV. And they didn't really watch TV back then anyway, because we only had like some basic channels. And so, but I didn't want them to hear. So on the 26th, Santa came and they never know the difference. They never knew the difference. Yeah. You know what? I actually got lucky the last 2 nights, Kim, because of the snow. It's been warmer. And so I was able to just take the brush part, the opposite end of the ice scraper with those little bristly. I was able to just brush off the truck. And Thad has this thing is like 5 foot long. It's almost as tall as I am to reach because his truck is so tall. But I had to take his truck the last 2 nights because my car is stuck. My car sits low. And so we can't get it out of my parking place right now because it's stuck. I'm in the gravel. I parked on the side, which is typical of where I park. I always park over to the side out of the way a little bit. And I told him I was going to park on the driveway so the sun would maybe warm up my car a bit and melt some of the snow. And I forgot. And yeah, and Marcy, I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to try to get my kids, settled in bed and get everything set up and then try and go to work. And at that time I work day shift. So in order for me to be at work at 6, because I worked 6 to 2 then, I would have literally had to woke my kids up at 4 in the morning and said, oh, Santa came. Let's go see what Santa brought. And then turn around and get in the shower and leave. An hour later, now I don't know about you, but I couldn't tear my kids away from their toys an hour after I gave them to them. So we just didn't have, I went to work on Christmas Eve and I went to work on Christmas Day. And then that night I told the kids, you guys got to go to bed. Santa's coming, you know, and oh yeah. Well, and that's what I do in the morning. I have 2 keys to my car. So I literally just go out and start it, or I leave the keys in it. I have the keyless entry pad. My car is old enough, it still has those numbers on the side that you can punch, which is wonderful because I'm like literally one of those people that lock my keys in my car all the time. So, because I don't pay attention. So a lot of times I just leave it running. And even if I don't have my spare set of keys, I can lock it up and leave it running. I usually don't though, because nobody wants to steal my car. If you guys see my car, you would know ain't nobody trying to steal my car. Like I don't even want my car. It's so old. I keep saying I'm going to buy a new car, but I don't want a car payment until my kids get straightened out. And my son's finally straight and he got everything done and got his fines paid. As of December, he's free and clear and hopefully gets his good job back, because without a driver's license, he couldn't work there. So I'm hoping he goes back to being a millwright because he made a small fortune. And his plan is if he goes back to work there, he's going to buy me a Jeep since he totaled mine. So we'll see, which is why I'm driving the dog's car. I call it the dog's car because that's what we used to take him to the vet or the dog wash, or if we took him to get his nails trimmed or did anything, if we took him for ice cream, because they have those doggy days at Dippin' Dots, not Dippin' Dots, at whatever, that ice cream store that sells frozen yogurt. They have the dog days of summer, and we would take him down and get him ice cream, and they give you a little bowl of ice cream with a dog treat in it. And he loved going. He would get so excited. Literally, if I told him we were going to dog days, he would go get in the car and just sit there. He would sit there. Even if it was like boiling hot in there, if the door was open, he would get in the back seat and literally sit in there an hour with his tongue hanging out. And I'd be like, get out of the car. We couldn't get him out of the car. We physically had to pull him out of the car. So I couldn't even tell him that we were going, or he would go get in the car. Oh, did he? Isn't that nice? And so we didn't have full coverage on my Jeep because it was older. And so we just didn't have full coverage on it just because, we thought, it's older. And I don't drive anywhere. Like when we went out of town, we didn't take it out of town or long distance. The farthest I went was like my parents, which is like 70 miles. So it's about an hour and a half out there to 2 hours, depending on traffic. So that's about the furthest I went with it, was to my parents' house. But so we only had PLPD, so we got nothing for it. So, but I did get an offer. There's a guy down here that works at Jiffy Lube near me. He said he'd give me $1,100 for it, which is good because it's got that C6 frame, which is so coveted that you can make the jacked up Jeeps with, because it's a Cherokee Sport. So it's a collector Jeep. So, and you can find them things like, if you find one that's in good condition running, that's like a, like a 97, 98, 99 Jeep Cherokee Sport, you're going to pay $3,000-$4,000 up to $7,000 for it. It's ridiculous how much hobbyists love that Jeep. And I have to admit, I had over 250,000 miles on it, and I never fixed anything on it. I literally put tires, brakes, oil changes, and I put a bottle of Seafoam in it every 6 months. When I filled up the tank, I would put a bottle of Seafoam, and I swear by that Seafoam, I don't like the other fuel injector cleaners and the other stuff, but Seafoam works and it keeps my cars running way longer than I really want them to. So, well, I better quit yapping and get off here. My coffee cup's empty and I got to get to work on this cover. I've got about an hour before I'm going to start dinner. I think I might go ahead and take a shower and make something to eat so I can just work on this until it's time for me to leave. So I'm going to let you all go, but thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Thanks for checking out the journal. This has been really fun to make. And well, we'll see. I hope she loves it. Her journey has always been entwined in mine because she's my best friend's daughter, you know. So I've known Tracy since I was about 7 years old, and I've known Haley since before she was born. I loved her since before she was born. I loved the idea of her before she ever came into the world. I remember when me and Tracy were young talking about when we had kids, we were going to do this, we were going to do that. If we had kids, when we were moms, when we were wives, when we were whatever, grown-ups. And so we talked about her way before she ever actually came into being. But she's so sweet, and I just hope that she loves it. So if I do not make another video before Christmas, everyone have a nice Christmas. Have a great Christmas Eve, great Christmas Day. And I don't know about presents because I'm not a big gift giver. I got everybody like one big gift and that was it. And then I do a stocking. But I'm about the food and the cookies. And so I hope I have time to bake more, but I know one thing, I have to make batches and batches of peanut butter cookies. So that's on the schedule. So, because that's what we're giving to all of Thad's brothers and sisters. You get, for those of you that don't know, Thad is number 8 of 9 children. And so I got a lot of cookies plus I'm making cookies for my 2 children, my brother, and my parents. So we have a lot of cookie tins to fill. We literally bought, I don't know, 17 cookie tins, I think. Anyway, so I got to bake a lot of cookies this weekend. But so you all have a good holiday. Merry Christmas. I love you all. Remember the reason for the season and enjoy your families. All right, ladies. I'll see you next time. Love you all. Bye. Bye.